bounce for the game that's going to decide top spot on the ladder. Justin Madden, he's got some 300 games on young Clark tonight, so there's going to be plenty of interest there as Darryl White makes sure that Scott Camporelli in his 34th game doesn't get a touch early on.
Clark Keating playing at centre half forward for the Bears. Sexton is his man.
Current temperature of around 15, and we've had a bit of rain. It is slippery on the opposite side of the Clem Jones stand, but apart from that, the ground in very, very good condition. Brisbane, incidentally, wearing black armbands tonight. Unfortunately, Andy Gow's farewelled his father, who passed away during the week. So our thoughts and sympathies are with Andy and his family.
Yes, Brett Heaver now getting the free kick half forward. Ex-Melbourne. Just kicks the ball low and beautifully read, coming across his Ashcroft. Gives it off to Champion. Champion goes back down the middle, and Christou can't get a hold of it. The ball is slippery. Players going to ground. Keating smacks it out. Caught. Giulio. Ball tried to tap out. Keating goes back for a second attempt. And pretty good play there by the youngster. Two great contests in the centre of the ground.
Voss, Christou, Voss, interesting matchup. Voss picked up a lot of possessions against Geelong last week.
Brett Allen sensibly throwing that ball up. There's an opportunity for Brown. He gets slung. Gow's tried to belt it over the top. Welsh gets claimed. Ball spills free. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be very, very tight. Coming back into this side is Craig McRae. Kicked 7 goals so far this season and has a chance to send the Bears from the half-back flank to the outer wing. That's where most of the play will be. Clark, product of the Western Border League in Mount Gambier. Silvani over the top, trying to get a hand to it. It sails over the back, and a throw-in will take place. Alistair Lynch will be looking for a big night tonight. He's kicked 23 goals coming into this game, 23-16. But of course has missed a few through injury. The Bears have got 9 players in this side who haven't missed a game. So they've had a pretty good run. Christou couldn't take it. Neither could Brown. Over him is Christopher Scott. Difficult to get out. Eventually pushed towards centre wing. Fletcher will get there, but too late. And another throw-in. You're tipping, gentlemen. Who do you think, Don, firstly?
Brisbane, Sandy.
Malcolm?
I must admit, I like, in these conditions, Carlton. It's the pros versus the new kids on the block, and sometimes when that happens, it's a real field time for the youngsters. Players working in hard underneath from the boundary throw-in. Ratton will be there all night in underneath the packs and kicks that ball forward, and another throw-in. So Carlton just edging their way. True centre wing position. Clark and Madden. What a battle that'll be all night. The big fella tries to lay it down, gives it to Ashcroft, the opposition player, instead. Comes back into the middle, coming to meet it, Kennedy. Gives the ball up, tries to go back to Gow's, can't pick it up. Koutafidis, brilliant. Swings around onto his left foot to Heaver. Heaver taps the ball into the path of Camporelli. If it sits, he's a chance. Buse takes his running and does it very well. Kicks the ball out wide into open space.
Kicked by Buse up towards centre wing. Coming to meet it is Sexton. He gets it down towards the half-forward line, and Heaver once again. Round his body, Brent Heaver. In towards centre half-forward, but standing firm is Andy Gow's.
Hitting by himself.
Heads towards that direction on centre wing. Now, this is the slippery part of the ground, this particular wing, where Keating just went over the boundary line. So a throw-in on centre wing. Bears favoured by punters, but it's very tight. Williams couldn't take it. Voss can. Gives it back towards Ashcroft. He's under pressure. Christou applies it well, but Scott gives it away. Oh, copping one late was Adrian Fletcher. Kicks down towards the forward pocket region, close to the boundary line. Kept in play by Jason Ackermanis, and Leppich takes the mark.
Gee, the speed of Ackermanis, fantastic, and what a centre. The two redheads combining. Look at that. Well done. Leppich, the boy from Berwick.
23 goals to his credit this year, and the chance to post the first score of the night. Wonderful atmosphere here at the Gabba. National football at its best, and the Bears are away.
Justin Leppich, good player last week. 3 goals. He's kicked his first. Didn't have many possessions, only 6 kicks. And there's Akamanis. That's a great centre. Really well done by the Bears.
Back in the centre, Keary throws the ball up. Clark does well with 2 hands, puts it down to Kennedy, smothered by Koutafidis. Williams grab high, call play on to Christou. Christou forced to kick under pressure. The ball comes out half forward. Players race for it, Clappe and Gowers. And Clappe does very well and induces the free kick from Gowers. So Matt Clappe at half forward. Pearson, Kernahan on leads. Clark back there. Now Madden. So there's plenty of tall timber. Madden stands in front, gets pushed out. Big front punch from behind. Comes out to McRae. Wants support, comes back to Lappin. Now onto McRae again. He comes wide and Gowers sits and waits and takes it on his chest.
Well done.
Gowers looks it towards centre half forward. Falls into vacant land. Sexton reads it beautifully. Then is met high from White and the free kick will come down
Very
the ground.
soft.
And Stephen Kernahan will take the kick, or Koutafidis, the captain, will take the kick from probably 40 metres out. So just a bit of exuberance there from Darryl White and a costly shot at goal. In fact, it is Koutafidis. Both players in the vicinity. So Anthony Koutafidis signed for another 3 years with Carlton during the week.
Deserving of a free kick, Malcolm?
Oh, I thought it was a bit soft, to be honest. So Anthony Koutafidis, 40 metres kicks. The goal umpire really hasn't moved. That's a great kick and the first score for Carlton.
Well, they all count, don't they? And taking the advantage of that relayed free kick, Sexton was on the move, and there he was committed, White. He kept the elbow down. He was committed, and really he couldn't have pulled up. Had he have done, Sexton would have gone away. Maybe he could have tackled, I suppose. But a very soft one.
Scores level. Fletcher caught in the middle. Scott tries to whip it out towards Lambert, the leading possession winner in the game. Averaging almost 30 disposals a week, which is quite fantastic. Off he goes towards Bott. Now the Bears go deep in towards Leppich territory once again. Unable to take the mark. Caught was McRae. Gets a short kick towards the boundary line. Tumbling over is Michael Voss.
He's been a real plus for Carlton to number 9 there. Hickmont from Geelong in his first year. That's Adrian Hickmont.
Interesting move with Lappin playing on Pearce in the back pocket. Been a good player around midfield.
From the throw-in, Lambert and White in the thick of things for Brisbane. Brown was there. So too Ronnie DiIulio, and again over the line. Madden, Keating, Kennedy playing his 100th game at the back. Koutafidis over the top, taken by Ratton. Hurried kick towards centre wing, towards Diesel Williams. He just flicks it on delicately. Sexton, it's a slippery ball. It's going to be very, very difficult. Ashcroft is at the bottom of the pack. But it will no doubt make for a very tight, close encounter. Play will be on that outer wing for most of the night. Ratton again in everything.
It's interesting with the setup that Carlton have got on the forward line. Kernahan is some 30 metres in front of Pearce. Pearce starting in the goal square.
Clark won it, but it was taken by Koutafidis, who gave it to Heaver, who floats it towards half forward. Clappe comes charging out. Gowers is the one, however, who throws it out to Andy Hughes, and the kick eventually lands with Kennedy. He's a long way from home, but he's a long kick too. Inside 50, and the mark has been taken by Alistair Lynch.
He's got to fire up. Good kick from Kennedy, like his father. Maybe Silvani could have gone. He's just out positioned on that occasion.
23 goals, 16 so far this season from 46 metres. The drop punt looks pretty good. He's kicked it.
Going to be a great battle. Lynch and Silvani. Lynch coming back into the side. He wasn't there last week. He's done a remarkable thing. He had the flu actually last week. He's trained well through the week. He's only played the 7 out of 10 games.
So from the centre bounce, players scrapping for the footy. Now the handball comes out. Williams on hands and knees, flips it back to Camporelli, gives it off to Bradley, tries to set up Welsh. Pressure there from Lambert, comes back inside. Terrific teamwork from Camporelli. Kernahan, you'd think, with the set. Champion comes back pretty hard and does well. Fraser Brown in underneath to Kernahan. Just missed kicks under pressure. Buse also. Gowers to ground. Kernahan over the top. The umpire's letting it go, Dennis Rich, as players now stack on top and a bounce.
Enthusiastic play by Fraser Brown. There he is, number 20. Asked to get up off the ground.
Yes, 3 players and had almost a half chances, but great pressure from the opposition players. Tap to Clark to Ashcroft was terrific. Madden lumbers after it and then handballs it to Kennedy. Madden there to support now. Once Koutafidis inside, gets that player. Koutafidis kicks out the front. Great kick to Pearce. Couldn't grab hold of it. Player came at him. Lappin kicks it wide to the wing. Sexton reads the ball beautifully. Now can't get hold of it. The ball is slippery. Sets up Keating. If he can pick it up, he's away. Now having trouble. Kicks the ball off the ground. Coming back great was Giulio, and Ratton with time and space. Now goes towards Kernahan. Big pack over the top. Flips out the back. Lappin and Pearce. Chase. 30 metres from goal. Comes round onto his favoured left foot. Tremendous pressure there from Lappin. Great stuff from Clapper, and the ball's out.
Keating moves well for a big fellow. Playing at centre half forward. Very impressive the way he got back onto that.
Yes, Lappin, as is mentioned, Don's been a terrific player around the centre and playing on the very dangerous Brad Pearce.
Clark, Kernahan, Fletcher, Buse, Brown, they're all there. Lambert got the hand pass away initially. Brown goes in again strongly. Could have been some holding on there, and a couple. The advantage is going to be paid to McRae. Up towards the half-back flank, and the mark from behind. Manton disagrees with it, but White has the football. Second grab.
Both good basketballers, White and Manton.
Goes off to Chris Scott. Norwich rising star winner Scott kicks down towards centre half forward. Lynch needs a kind bounce. He gets a kind bounce. He may need assistance. He will need assistance. Well done by Heaver. Had to beat a couple, but it finishes with Fletcher. It was given to him by Kennedy. Defending again is Koutafidis. Off to Diulio. It's going to be a fantastic game of defences this. Diulio again. Taken over the line. Prior ball.
It's going to be a similar game, Sandy, to last week's game that we witnessed. Hawthorn, Fremantle. They're both tackling well. A lot of pressure, and in that game, Hawthorn went away in the last quarter. It's going to be a matter of who cracks first tonight.
Madden in front of Keating, Heaver and Ratton.
Or who can withstand the pressure. Improved player Brett Heaver after coming from Melbourne.
Keating over the top of Madden. Hickmont used the body to allow Heaver through, but Clark unable to take the slippery ball. Good support from Gowers. It's a long kick in towards full forward. Plenty of high flyers. No mark taken. Hickmont gets the hand pass out towards Heaver. It goes. Diulio does the shepherding. Ratton takes the hand pass. Gives it away again towards Sexton, and Carlton are out of trouble. He kicks up towards Brown on half forward. One-hander almost from Fraser Brown. They lock it in there. Buse is at the bottom of the pack.
I can't understand that. Why Buse wasn't pinged for holding Brown then.
Fraser Brown gets up, looks rueful at the umpire. Kernahan taps it forward. Falls to the advantage of the Bears here. There is a stack of them. Marcus Ashcroft spins, turns and kicks beautifully to Chris Scott. So between half-back, flank and wing, one of the really good youngsters here in Brisbane kicks. Oh, Sexton was brilliant. Really was caught high. Should have been given the free kick, you would have thought, but the ball now stopped right on centre wing, and umpire Kerry comes into bounce. Clark goes early. Quick kick comes out of the pack to Lambert. Running. Craig Lambert now goes long from just outside 50. Great contest and almost the mark to Lynch, but pressure there from Silvani. So the first point on the board. Brisbane 2-1, Carlton a goal.
The man-to-man duels, I think Lynch will beat Silvani. He's very strong in the upper body, Lynch.
Christou from the kick out towards Kernahan. Couldn't quite take it on the half volley. Fletcher caught. Heaver maybe first to this ball. Loses it. Just pushing it further on towards Camporelli. He slips as he takes his kick. Goes down towards the 50-metre line. Buse defends. It ricochets off the arms of Andy Gowson over the line.
Yeah, it's really not a finessing night, Don, is it, with that slippery
No, you just
ball?
got it. No, yeah. Melton in with the boots all. Just push it forward.
Madden and Clark. Madden, a veteran of 322 games. Michael Voss, a star of the game today and no doubt tomorrow. Some excellent young players on show. And another throw in on the outer side. Was Craig Lambert in his 163rd game. Been a fantastic player. Madden with the height advantage. Goes over the top of Christou and Heaver. The latter first to it. Runs through the centre. Wobbles a kick towards left half forward. Brad Pearce comes steaming out. With him is Lappin. Two grand players. Buse does the heavy shepherding work. Lappin does beautifully. He'll follow it up and soccer off the ground. The way to go. But good defensive work by Sexton. And he'll relieve some of the pressure for Carlton.
Sexton looks towards centre half forward. Goes in that direction. It's a nice long high kick. Players wanted Kernahan in this prime spot. Almost got it. Champion pressurised him well. Tapped out wide. Hits Williams on the boot. Kudafudi's in underneath. Now Williams breaks clear. Can't get his kick away. Tackled well by Andrew Buse. The ball goes to the boundary line. Manton tries hard to keep it in, but the ball beats him.
Well, it's like tonight. You really don't get hurt in football, so commit your bodies because you know that you're going to come out of a battle and encounter unscathed.
So the Bears by 7 points. Clark to Voss. Kicks it long. Oh, and a fantastic mark from D'Eulio. A one-hander, and it stuck. Kicks back into centre forward. Madden in the front spot over his head. Kudafudi's also. Ashcroft mops up at the back. A lot of pressure around here. McRae breaks away onto his left foot. Kicks and kicks pretty well. And Craig Lambert in front of Bradley will take the free kick.
He's on half-back. Kicks towards centre wing. Finds his target beautifully in Jason Ackermanis. Ackermanis goes up towards half forward. A big pack of players. Manton lost it. Did the 360. Said, where is it? Eventually he slaps it out to Sexton. Wobbles it to centre wing. D'Eulio again. May lose it. He does to Ackermanis. On to McRae. Down towards the forward line. Lynch in front. Skis and was pushed, said the umpire, so he'll get a free kick, much to the delight of this pro-Bears crowd.
Well, the reason the ball's down there again because of Ackermanis' quickness. With reflex, he got a quick handball, but also very quick across the ground.
Tucked on the boundary line. Alistair Lynch kicking from 50 metres. It'll take a great kick. He's off target. Out on the full, in fact. Out on the full. Alistair Lynch has 1 goal to his credit. As Christou. Well, the Wolves catching. Back he comes towards centre wing. Kudafudi's caught by Voss. Spills free to Brown. Crunch time. That was champion. Back to Kudafudi's. To half forward.
Silvani.
And Silvani may get a free kick. Yes, it is, Don. Matt Kleppe coming up limping. Silvani towards Pearce. The lead was like lightning. Buse defends. He's been in pretty good form as the veteran rat. Kudafudi's back again to D'Eulio. Away goes Ronnie. putting them inside 50. No one able to complete the mark. Lappin gets through, gives it away to Clappe. He comes wide to Pearce. Pearce is 45 metres out, hooks it round his body. Brown couldn't take the slips catch. Again, it's up to Buse to tidy up, and he does so to Lambert.
Kicks high out wide. Kernahan coming back.
Courage.
Couldn't get hold of it. Neither could Voss. Koutafidis does. Kicks back into towards the pocket. Camporelli, Brown. Clever kick back to the front of the goal square. Lappin. Great pressure. Fantastic game of footy so far. Slippery conditions not helping the players, and McRae just goes for the safety of the boundary line. Great pressure at both ends of the ground, and the Bears hang on to this 7-point margin. Just over 4.5 minutes of this first quarter. A boundary throw in. Allen on the ground, over their heads. Voss tries to unload it, does now. Follows up terrifically, carries it forward with his body to Ackermanis, then to Gowers. Comes back inside. Fletcher with the fly from behind and hits the ground very hard. Manton does well from that crumb. Sexton grab high. Now Lepic throws the ball onto his boot. Bradley will go to the boundary line for certain and is quite happy to see it out. Half-back flank for Carlton.
Interesting one, isn't it? We all knew Bradley was going for the boundary line. Why wasn't he penalised?
Welsh off and McKay on. Andy McKay coming back into this Carlton lineup. Voss into the right forward pocket. Lynch close to the boundary line. With him is Silvani.
Yes, that was fantastic for Voss then, wasn't it? He's won 3 hard balls.
And look at Adrian Fletcher, shades of Jason Dunstall a couple of weeks ago, and fell on his head. Silvani tumbling a punt towards half-back. Clark took a chance with the half volley. He almost got there. Kernahan couldn't take it cleanly, neither Heaver at the first attempt. Good work by the Bears. They get it out towards Champion, but he's slung and loses it to Camporelli. Camporelli goes up towards the half-forward line and Fraser Brown. Here comes Brad Pearce again. Williams gives him a bit of room with the good shepherding work. So too Clappe. It's a long kick by Pearce. It's off target. It's a behind.
It's the margin to a goal. So it was really quick movement then from Carlton. Nigel Lappin doing the kicking in. And Carlton very much in zone defence. Clappe has to sit and wait. Gowers from behind with one hand. Players slip as they try and pick it up. Koutafidis throws it out. And he really did premeditate that. And Dennis Rich was in the right spot.
That was an interesting kick out because the Bears had all their players over on this side to which they were kicking, and at that stage there was about 6-2 in favour of the Bears.
So Matthew Clark with the free kick just chips it really to Keating and doesn't quite get there. Sexton, who's got touches early, off to Allen. Allen's a clever player for a big man. Gives it back to Manton. Now to centre half forward, pushing and shoving over the back to Brown. He's got a metre on his opponent. Now Buse closes, puts pressure on him. Brown throws the ball back. Players run at it. Ashcroft it is. Champion gets a half kick away. Back out to centre half forward. Voss, Kernahan, 2 greats hit each other. And the ball now stops at centre half forward.
It's been a great quarter, hasn't it?
Oh.
So a couple of minutes remaining. What a great captain he's been. Steve Kernahan. Williams almost held. Lambert claimed by Bradley. Spills free to Buse, who's had a good first quarter. Through the arms of Heaver to Koutafidis. Good smother by Keating, the big man working hard. Look at him, trap it again. Tries to get it out towards Ackermanis. Brown over the top. White there too.
I just can't feel a 20-goal game here.
Diesel Williams on the bench with just a couple of minutes to play in this first quarter. No, something extraordinary would have to happen, Malcolm, wouldn't it? As Allen wins it down towards Brown. Hooks it round his body. It's a high kick to half forward. But again, the defence working well. Scotty McIver can come to Buse on half back. Now, he's got a bit of room. He's got a bit of time. He elects to take the kick towards 100-gamer Kennedy. Back he goes with Koutafidis on the mark. Towards Keating and White. Fisted away by Sexton to the safety of the boundary line.
Whitehead now going with Ashcroft.
One straight kick in it. Just over 1 minute remaining. Allen, Keating from behind. Bradley hurriedly onto the left foot, but only as far as Clark. He bounces back to his mark and he kicks long. He wants Keating. Voss, strong work, but his hand pass will be taken by Fraser Brown or Sexton. Good work by the youngsters Kennedy and Ackermanis again.
They're a knowledgeable crowd now, the Brisbane crowd, acknowledging the good work then by their players.
On right half forward for Brisbane. Clark jostles for front spot. At the back is Bradley. Spooned it out, or at least tried to Koutafidis. It's like a piece of soap, as Bradley discovers as he kicks towards Steve Kernahan. Champion takes it away from him on all fours. He's forced to give it away to Voss. Gives it back again. Beautifully stolen. Great interception by Heber. Maybe a chance for Carlton to score before the siren. Lappin goes to ground. Scott goes towards the boundary line. Had to be careful. Picked up by Pearce. Spirals it in towards Camporelli. If it sits, he's in business. And he is.
Well, really, in that situation, Scott had no alternative but to do what he did do. He realised if he let his boot go into the ball, it could have gone over the boundary line. Look at this. Unfortunately, didn't go his way. Pearce, this was still going to be a hard one because Camporelli had to stop under it. That's the goal they needed, Carlton.
Back in the centre, Matthew Allen. Clark over the top. Brown kicks the ball forward. Hughes comes to meet it, can't get hold of it. Kernahan off the ground with his left foot. Mackay in underneath the footy. The Bears players run into him. There's the siren. And in what has been a magnificent first quarter of desperate, tight, slippery footy, 2-1 apiece. And really, Don, you'd have to say that's probably the right scoreboard.
Oh, what a great game. This is like the final of these two teams played last year, and only one can surmise how Brisbane would have gone had they have beaten Carlton in the final, the early final last year. They were a fantastic team. They were lucky not to win it, and they're about the only side that were really competitive against Carlton. And what a night we're having already. This is a great Saturday night. And there's Voss. Boy, isn't he a gun? Number 3. Clark being negated in the centre by the fact of Madden and Allen jumping just that little early.
So the Carlton boys meet as one. John Northey is there to greet the Bears. Scores are level here at the Gabba. It's 2-1 apiece as we take a break.
Sandy, good response by both coaches there, Wally. They know how difficult the game is out here, not because of the condition, because of the pressure of the game.
Yeah, it speaks great credit for each other's attacking ability that both coaches force so much defensive pattern around it, and it's going to be a hell of a tight game going on.
It certainly is. And for Lappin to be playing in the full-back position is a good move by the Bears to keep Pearce in hand.
Yeah, they've got to do that, of course, and they've got to try and get the ball down the other end of the field. Of course, it's very tight with the defence. They've got to get it into an area where they can even pick up 1 point.
All right, thank you, boys. As Silvani picks up that ball on the half-back line and kicks it wide to the outer side and ambles back deep into defence. So the second quarter underway. Rain has cleared. Madden and Clark are both there. Bradley, Lambert. Prolific kick winner finds Gowes. He had a pretty good first quarter too. Gowes towards centre half forward. Big pack of players. At the back is Alistair Lynch. A chance to start in a blaze of glory, but he pulls it way too far right.
That's excellent work from Lambert and also Gowes. Gowes running into position for Lambert. Clapper will just have to tighten up on Gowes.
So a throw in the pocket. Keating, an attempted soccer out of the air, and finally over the line as Keating makes his way back for another throw in.
Yes, Justin Madden there with Keating. The youngster's done well since coming in the league footy. Quick kick from Ashcroft. Hickmott does well to punch it away, then tries to go off the ground. Now it falls to Camporelli and Leppich. They both go to the ground. McRae tries to tap it out. hits players on the leg, caught, and that will be another ball up as Ashcroft under enormous pressure, and that's certainly been a feature of the game. Just very hard to get a kick.
Very slippery conditions, but that rain has disappeared. Kicks back towards centre wing. Kernahan couldn't take it. Bradley was there to help him. Lambert comes through, but straight to Camporelli. Off towards Diesel Williams. Williams hooks it round his body to accommodate DiIulio. It bounces away from him. Still in the middle. Gowes had it for a moment and then lost it. Scott gets caught. Back towards Gowes once again. Through Camporelli. Gee, it's tough and it's tight, but it's exciting. Lambert gives it away once more. And now an opportunity for McRae's long kick into full forward. Big pack of players. No one able to take it. Ratton was there for a moment. But now it's Camporelli who comes away. Back to centre wing. Kernahan trips over Champion. Clappe uses the body. Champion in strongly once again. He had to lock it up there, and he did, because there were 2 Carlton players on him.
Yeah, it's great stuff. It's good football. You really don't need commentary on games like this. Sit back and enjoy it, because these guys certainly are putting in.
I'm not going to say a word.
There's Brown. I should mention too, Ratton was there. And with this rain, I might have called him Heaver a couple of times in that first quarter, but by gee, they look similar from the back. Over the top of Christou. This is Sexton. Kick partly smothered. Picked up by Keating. Will he get the votes here? He kicks up towards full forward. Lepage came across, but he couldn't take it. Hickmont towards the boundary line. Now he comes back and he should clear.
Adrian Hickmont kicks out wide. There's an open field here. Foss and Sexton just playing cat and mouse near the boundary line, and that is probably going on. Not paid. And Lambert taps it back to the boundary line, and surely...
I like the way these guys umpire now. Not so many free kicks. They're letting the game go. It's been evident for quite a few weeks the way they're umpiring, and it's great.
He's a bit stiff. Foss not to get a kick there. Great tap from Bradley. Clever to Brown. Ball goes into their forward line. Gowes has played well. Knocks the ball out of bounds.
He's attacking the halfback position, Gowes.
So scores are still level. No score yet in this second quarter. Clark taps it down. Well read by Carlton to move it forward. DiIulio sits and waits. Can't get hold of it. Coming through is Pearce. Lappin just tries to keep him off the footy. Does pretty well. And Camporelli also happy to see it out. So it is a defensive game, but it's intense defence. So I mean, it's just good footy to watch. Keating on the bench having a rest. Then there McAdam. Backhander tried by Gowes. Falls over the back to Williams. Caught. Ratton sockers the ball out there. Now here's an open spot. Foster ground. Christou with him, and players are having tremendous difficulties in picking up this ball. It is very slippery indeed, plus the pressure, so it makes for a really tight game.
And look at the players around that ball.
Good hit.
Kernahan comes over the top and tries to belt it away. Picked up by McRae. He gets boot to ball. And that will find the boundary line just as DiIulio closes in late.
Three players forward of the centre for Brisbane.
Here's Madden. Heaver doing the roving work. It's his birthday today, Brent Heaver. Turns 25. Ratton at the bottom of the pack. DiIulio again. And once more over the line goes McRae.
Michael Voss is having his 21st. You coming, Sandy, in the social club after the game?
Yes, it's at the party, but the birthday's
well,
not
you
till
being
July.
a social
Butterfly.
Misfit. No, misfit. You
I'll hang on
there.
to your coattails. If I can fit, there are enough hanging on to them. Throw in. Williams through. Unable to take it. Now a chance for Fletcher. In towards Dick Foss. Sexton over the back. Claims it. Gee, hasn't he been in excellent form this year? To Bradley. Needed pinpoint accuracy and he got it. Heaver wanted it short. He elects to go longer. Danger here. Kernahan alone. In front of the scoreboard here at the Gabba.
Starting to open the game up a little bit. Spaces, players getting into spaces and being found.
Kicked 675 goals in his career. And he's gone to the right. And behind. his first score for the night. But they have the lead.
Sandy, it'd be interesting to see what they do this time. They waited the one flank Brisbane last time they kicked out, and they finished up with 6 on 2. They're doing the same over this side, and this is the side he's bringing it.
Tapped on beautifully to Akamanis over the back of the pack. So the Speeds is away, balances now, kicks the ball along the line. In front, Hickmott. Over the top, Lepage falls to Sexton, who's been magnificent across half back. His kick under pressure falls to Voss. And so this...
Oh, the Scott's by himself, quick.
Now wants to go in the Lynch direction. He falls over, and Silvani takes an easy mark.
Geez, Scott gave a terrific lead on the 50-metre line.
Goes back inside to Bradley. And Craig Bradley just slows it down a bit now. And if nothing's on, we'll go to the tall for certain. But it is on through Heaver. So Brent Heaver, small men having a field day on conditions like this. Goes back inside to Hickmott, over his head, falls to Foss. Great handball to White. Fletcher can't get hold of it. Then goes to ground. D'Elio in over the top of him. Dick Foss there as well. And once again, a stack of players just between the centre square and the 50-metre line. Brisbane just slightly into attack.
Just the 1 point has been scored so far in this quarter. Kennedy attempts to come over the top. Lambert got it out towards Dick Foss. One of the oldest recruits the game has seen. D'Elio does well, Ronnie D'Elio, to give it towards Camporelli. Off to Kernahan. 50 metres out. Wobbles it inside. Almost the perfect pass, he said, to Clappe. He stopped off the ground. Oh, comedy of errors over the top. Bradley Pearce.
Well, Kernahan got the break. It was a clever piece of football and clean piece of football. I didn't think he had that much pace to run by for the handball. Watch, D'Elio picks up one handball and then Camporelli across to Kernahan. He went long. He's going to go long and kick the leather off the ball, but the slippery ball is a problem. And over the top, Pearce. Ball exit hard to handle. It's a vinyl coat.
Miracle goal to Brad Pearce, and free kick in the centre going to Greg Williams. So Williams has Ratton wide. Once that player can't get hold of it, Champion reads it very well and runs across. Calls play on because he went to handball it, and that's the correct decision. Clappe making a nuisance of himself there, worries him out of it. Bradley chips it to Kernahan, and this time the skipper will take it from 40 metres out. Yes, the golden rule, play on with your head first, not with your hands, and perhaps you can fool an umpire that way.
Good mark.
Stephen Kernahan kicks. The Blues have got their fourth. So just a mini break here from Carlton at the opening going, 10 minutes actually of this second quarter.
Well, don't write the Bears off because they are playing on emotion. They've put on some remarkable performances this year, and that break of 13 points is nothing. And here's the free kick, the turnover.
So back in the middle, well, it is 13 points, and it's the biggest margin we've had in this game to date. This time the free kick was going the way of Adrian Fletcher in his 117th game. He'll kick from the middle, but the Bears would dearly like the next one. Towards half forward, Lynch came and steamrolled the pack, couldn't take the mark. Heaver got boot to ball, travelled a short distance. Ashcroft picks it up, pumps it high. Madden going back with the flight, takes it on the chest. So Justin Madden, short to Hickmott. He marks on halfback. Carlton steadying down. Hickmott towards centre wing. Darryl White slips. Sexton maintains his footing, but then slams it into Gowes. Kept back in play by Clappe. So Sexton to Kernahan. Couldn't take it cleanly. Great pressure from Champion, and eventually sliding over the boundary line is Ratton and Fletcher.
Clark and Kernahan. Clark gets front spot, just tries to lay it off. Williams tries to read it, falls to Fletcher. He kicks to centre half forward, and coming back was Manton. Almost a good mark. DiIulio goes on the ground, now falls to Manton. It's clear, balances, now goes back into the centre towards Williams. Williams with Ashcroft. He goes to ground, dives on top of the football, and players to Voss. Clever handball back. Brilliant from Lambert to Ackermanis. He's caught from by Camporelli. Plenty of pressure here. If McRae can get through, he can't because he was there. Terrific tackle. Now picked up by Christo and comes out commentary side. Fair dinkum, there is nobody. Manton. Voss wants him. Sweats off. Manton goes to ground. Now caught, and that is holding the man. Call play on. Kernahan chips the ball. Ratton sits and waits. Gives it off to Heaver. Here's the movement from the Blues. Under pressure, drops it to Ratton. Now Camporelli. Back to Mackay. Mackay can have a shot here. He can have a shot from 30 metres out. The ball swings round, and a great kick, great play from Carlton.
Well, I mentioned earlier about these holes or the loose men that Carlton are now starting to find. They're finding space. The guys are into space. Some intelligent handball. I didn't see Mackay on, but they picked him, and this is causing Brisbane now to chase. And that's not a good sign as the break increases. 19 points.
Carlton on fire. Andy Mackay enjoying his foray into the forward line. Here's Heaver. Happy birthday, maybe, Heaver. One behind.
Madden doing well at the centre bounces because Brisbane, through Clark's dominance, particularly early in the season, really are very good at getting the ball out of the centre. But he's jumping a little earlier, Madden, and so is Allen, and they're gating Clark, so he can't get his hand to the ball to set it up.
Lappin wanted Kennedy, but it's Kuda feed. He's on DiIulio. Ronnie comes over the top. Forget the wet weather, forget the slippery ball. Away he goes. It's a worm burner into half forward. McIver was in front. Champion at the back claims it. Thought about going on with it. As we see the mark of DiIulio once again.
Ball coming back.
It's going to go back to Champion
50
metres. So it's going to bring him down forward of the centre. With Brisbane yet to score in this second quarter, Carlton has added 3 goals too.
That lead was too early by Lynch.
He kicks to right half forward. There he is again, Ronnie DiIulio, and it sticks. Once more. Call to play on by Dennis Rich. He does towards centre wing. Good mark taken by Scott.
Brother Brad's playing well in the Hawthorn reserves team too. Chris Scott, his twin Brad, playing for Hawthorn.
Comes into the middle to Marcus Ashcroft. Look out behind you, because Heaver's got you. Kennedy smother. Heaver may get another chance. Look at him go, Brent Heaver. Off to Williams. Caught by Lambert. Brown like a terrier. Kernahan, head down.
Yes, good decision. He put his head down. You call it, Sandy.
Kennedy takes the kick from the centre square. Sexton and Manton fly together. Ball falls to ground. Great handball out wide. Just defensive handball. Go to the boundary line. DiIulio was good then. Falls to Lambert this time. Just senses Ackermanis out wide. He just cops. Now just kicks the ball to centre half forward. Madden sits and waits. Punches intelligently. Falls to Kennedy.
Well, they're doing it well, aren't they?
Good to DiIulio. They really do back each other up in that defensive area. And Gowers and Clappe move it to the boundary line. Yes, they're a very difficult side to score against Carlton. They do pride themselves on their defensive measures and mechanisms. And lead by 20 points. Just over 8 minutes to go the second quarter.
Throw in on the outer side. Voss just tried to slap it over to Scott. Caught by Ratton.
DiIulio picking up Jason Ackermanis. He's really putting the pressure on Ackermanis, doing a lot of work. There's Ackermanis probably have to go off the ground. Maybe the blood rule.
Yeah. Bleeding from the face. We'll keep an eye on that as Clark comes over the top, taken by Brown. Hurried kick up towards the 50. And the veteran Buse takes the mark. Game number 255 as he gives it to Lappin to centre wing. Kuda one hand to it and over the line. Big week for Kuda, signing a new 3-year contract with Carlton. The Blues will be very keen to see him
Great physique. Great physique has Koutafidis.
Clark. Voss. Brown. Claimed by Lambert. Voss again. Claimed by Bradley. Look at that. If you drop $5 in there, you wouldn't go in and pick it up, I don't think. It is tough and it's tight, but it's great football.
$5, you'd be in there, Sandy.
Scrooge McScott. 20 points the margin, Donald. Throw in on the outer side. Through Scott again. Brown taken off it. And some holding on going on, said Peter Carey. So Brown to take it. Fraser Brown to left half forward. Kernahan the target. One grab then slapped away by Champion. Towards the boundary line. Kennedy as Champion followed him down. Kicks back towards centre wing. But straight to Madden.
Big Justin Madden doing well. Starting to get some possessions around the ground. It's his fifth touch. Kernahan from behind, but a terrific mark in front. Anthony Koutafidis stood his ground and showed fair quality. Kicks. It's a one-on-one contest back in the square. Mackay, and it's been paid the mark. Umpire Brett Allen said he had enough of that, and from this angle here, he certainly looked like he had.
He likes this forward line.
Yes.
Kicked one already.
Actually, that was a great decision by the umpire then, because he did control. He was just pushed off it by Gowers.
So Andrew Mackay has already kicked one goal in this quarter, and this will be a crucial blow to the Bears. So Andrew Mackay from 20 metres out kicks and becomes the first multiple goal kicker on the ground.
There's a beautiful goal he kicked earlier, Andrew Mackay. And both coming in the second quarter, and that was an excellent mark, running with the flight of the ball. Set up here for Kernahan, but Kernahan had his hands full. Clap by Gowers. Across half forward is Andrew Mackay, or full forward line, I should say.
Margin is now out to a worrying 26 points as far as the Bears are concerned. Ashcroft tries to give it away towards Champion, who goes to the outer side, and Voss. Claimed by Brown, but gets his kick down towards the half-forward line. Gilbert McAdam's on the ground. 100 game-o. McAdam goes short and he finds Leppich. So will McAdam spark them up? They haven't scored this quarter. Lynch and Silvani. The veteran Carlton defender belts it over the line. 2 goals to Andrew Mackay. All-Australian in his debut year back in 1993. Had a wonderful opening after crossing from Glenelg. Kennedy in towards full forward. Silvani there once again. Talk about misers, he'll give away nothing. Silvani towards the line. Suck it up the ground, and at last there's been a score. Darryl Watt. Taken a long time, but Brisbane has their 3rd goal.
Well, there's the Bears salute as we see the supporter up behind the goals. There's a holding. Should have been to Silvani. Silvani hitting towards goal, not really getting onto it, and White coming through.
The margin's back to 20 points, but back in the centre of the ground. Ashcroft, is this what the Bears need? Just a goal to get the equilibrium down. Ratton works hard, always does. Hughes reads it nicely. Now kicks out wide. Julie over his head. Now Akamanis. He's got a bit of space. Picks it up lovely. Wants short, and McAdam.
The rain falling now too, Malcolm. It's going to prove difficult now.
Hickmont reads it out. Camporelli coming back hard is Fletcher. And both players, Scott and Camporelli, happy to see that out.
It makes the ball really difficult to handle because it's got a vinyl coating on this ball for night football. And with the rain on, or the water. Well,
Voss kicks. Oh, and Hickmont reads it again. McAdams, twice he's gone back towards goal. Hickmont stood his ground. And Hickmont comes wide to the wing. Kernahan nearly just can't quite get his marking going right, and the ball falls out.
So a throw-in to take place, but a contentious issue, gentlemen. That last goal, did it go between the two big uprights? Well, have a look at this.
Oh, it's missed.
Oh,
That looked like a behind to me.
That's missed.
That did miss. So when is a goal a goal? Kernahan from DiIulio to half forward, Voss. So that's quite incredible, really. No wonder Steve Silvani and the Carlton defenders were up in arms about that kick.
well, this break, Sandy, could be quite the break that Carlton wanted with the rain coming down. 20-point the margin, and this is going to be very difficult for the Bears to pull it back. Look at you, see the players going in now.
Slipping
this is
inside.
torrential rain here in Brisbane. You can see it on screen, and that's not going to make Brisbane's case any easier to bridge the margin.
It's the same margin Essendon led by 2 against St Kilda when that game was called off.
Now, don't put the moz on the lights.
I don't want to see you with a lighter under your face. That was horrifying enough.
WD Blight.
Mackay in front, and marks on his chest in front of McIver. Gets in the Pearce direction. He has to come back. Big fly from behind. Doesn't grab hold of it. Oh, here's Harry. It's in fact Allen and Buse backing up. The big fella. He looked slow then. Saw the 4. And a free kick coming back and going to Andrew Buse. So it is really pelting down here now. Buse to half back. Players are going to find this even more difficult. Hadn't rained for a while.
Good pick up by Fletcher.
Terrific. Goes around the corner and Lepage hits the ground and runs. Wants to draw Manton. Manton does pretty well just to try and give him 2 decisions, but then came out into White and really did set this up. Lynch in front, almost the mark. Hickmont happy to go off the ground. It goes back in the Lepage direction. He has trouble picking it up. Now falls over under pressure. Manton clever call to Sexton. Carlton, as they seem to do all the time from defence, ends up with Christo and he goes long.
Yes, up towards the half forward line. Champion comes out, tries to get away from Sticks
Well done,
Kernahan, but he persists. There's Sticks still in there. Voss eventually traps it and gets it out. Christo applies a good tackle. Kennedy comes in over the top. Koutafidis is there also.
That was
Lambert
Fletcher's end, Sandy. That was Fletcher's end. It was interesting seeing was that Kennedy getting up wearing the Blades football boots. That's that new sole.
On centre wing. Lambert in the thick of things once again. So too Voss tried to get it out to Kennedy. Koutafidis, Scott, Voss again. Koutafidis on him. And I think Kouta's given away a kick, free kick for a tackle too high. So Michael Voss kicks over the centre in these very trying conditions. Champion. Clever tap out to accommodate McIver. That's good to McAdam. And Gilbert, in his 100th game, can celebrate with a goal. But the ball is slippery. He's going to be kicking from a good 45 metres.
You can get onto these balls, can't you, in the wet, Malcolm? It doesn't happen all the time, but occasionally you can get on and really send it a distance.
Let's see what he can do from 45 metres. He swings it in. It's coming back and it rams into the woodwork. And he said, why me on my 100th?
Yes, and they've also have radar towards Timber, Don.
What, in the wet, Malcolm?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that game at North Melbourne where they had a radar. That kick of yours, the last quarter, wasn't it? Last kick of the game?
Yes, all right.
Radar towards the boundary line.
At least I had the footy, you didn't.
Fletcher, that's enough. We'll fight here soon. Ashcroft chips to the half forward line. Now here's Darryl White. What can he do? Short to Lynch, and Alistair Lynch on the other side of the ground.
It's not going to be an easy kick because of the conditions. You'll have to let this go from 40 metres.
Well, in front of the social club, and in fact probably nearer 50 metres. In fact, it's a good kick. He's got onto that, Don, and he's, oh geez, kicked a beauty.
What an excellent kick. That's his second. Alistair Lynch flew last week and offering some encouragement to White. I wonder what he was saying to him. Good play. And there's White. Ashcroft setting it up.
and a very important goal with just 23 seconds remaining in the quarter. They'll be very keen to make sure the margin remains at that. Fletcher tries to come out, and he does, towards half forward once again. Sexton does the good body work and tries to lock it up. He's still at the bottom, Sexton. Camporelli gives it away towards Williams, illegally so. Dennis Rich right on it there. The veteran of 3 grand finals, Dennis Rich.
Centre break 7-4 favouring Carlton.
Marcus Ashcroft from the middle of the ground. They need a mark, but time and the siren have beaten them. So it's half time here in appalling conditions now. But an interesting situation indeed, with Brisbane hitting back with 2 goals, or, as our cameras showed you, 1 goal, 1.
Yes, in a game like this, I mean, a decision like that when the goal umpire's right there could be actually crucial. And it just gave the Bears a bit of momentum there, didn't they, towards the end of that quarter. They actually won the football back out of the middle and across the middle of the ground. So perhaps a lucky break then for the Bears, but still a margin of 13 points in these conditions now. It really is going to be tough for the Bears, but gee, they've been competitive, and Carlton had that purple 10 minutes, didn't they?
Yes, in fact, it enabled them to double their score. They kicked twice as much in the second quarter as they did in the first. Kicked 2-1 in the first, both sides did. Brisbane kicked 2-1 again in the second, but Carlton have kicked clear, but it's still very, very tight. The Blues are 6-3, 39. 13-point leaders over Brisbane, 4-2, 26. Can they come back? The winner of this match will go to the top of the AFL ladder. Silvani on Lynch. Lynch has 2 goals for Brisbane. He kicked 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Here we go. Second half. It's won by Clark. Socket off the ground. Down towards left half forward. First to it, Hickmott. Right on his hammers. 100 gamer McAdam. Gets him. Ball spills free. And locked up by Sexton. Christou comes out the side door. Gives it away quickly, but there's been a whistle. A whistle by Brett Allen.
Carlton playing now a 5-man forward line. They've got a half forward line of Heaver, Kernahan and Clappe.
So from that ball up, Koutafidis tries to get it out. Brown there to assist. Clappe is there on centre wing with Gowes. Couldn't take it. Kernahan caught. Now a chance for Carlton to get clear. Clappe goes up towards the half-forward line over the head of Pearce. Lappin will be first to it. Boundary line may beat him. He'll be quite happy to see it over. Brad Pearce has a bit of a look. And he's given it. He has given it as deliberate. And Heaver.
That is so inconsistent. That is pathetic. That annoys me. There's been 4 or 5 of those today.
Well, he plays on, Brent Heaver. He bends it back sensationally. That is a goal.
An interesting one. There's the offender, Nigel Lappin, who's in front of Pearce. Oh, really? I suppose that's like the Fitzroy one of last year.
It's like nothing, Don. I mean, if you
that was reminiscent of Fitzroy.
There's actually been 5 or 6 of those tonight. Why would you pick that one?
Well, that's what I'm saying, Malcolm. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Play them all or play
my head off. I mean, you remember the Fitzroy-Richmond game of last year, Malcolm? Thank you.
We're back in the middle and forced forward by Williams. Ashcroft kicks the ball and Leppich marks on his chest. Oh, that's just inconsistent. That's frustration.
Well, it's done now. Off you go.
Falls inside to Lambert. Can't get hold of it under enormous pressure from Manton. Called play on by the umpire. Brown working hard with him White. Brilliantly picked up by Koutafidis as if it was dry. And Champion stands his ground and takes a terrific mark on Stephen Kernahan. Now comes out wide. Voss has to wait. Now has Lambert short and goes to that player. So Fraser Brown stands the mark. Lambert short. Ackermanis. So they've just controlled the football here. Grandstand side here at Gabba. Now goes long in towards the goal front. Oh, Leppich almost. Koutafidis can't get hold of it. Leppich under pressure, taps it forward. Tries to. Manton. Tremendous pack of players. The umpires let it go. Comes out wide. McIver caught. Christou slips over and goes to the safety of the line. And so behind is registered for Brisbane. They're third. The margin 18 points.
Well, I reckon Wally Lewis on the boundary line will be loving this, because it's just a classic case of a couple of sides surging that ball forward whenever they can. It's just so tough with two very tight defences. Sexton has it on the outer side. Kicks up over centre wing. Clark drifts across the pack. Kernahan is right there too. Champion looking for a free kick with Camporelli late on him, but not to be. So it's Kernahan, Clark, nicely to Voss. Brown takes him out. Whitehead there also. Lambert's hand pass okay to Clark on all fours. Ashcroft, little chip back towards centre wing. Wanted Kennedy, but Cooter's too good. Koutafidis on centre wing. Low to right half forward. Carlton got the first in this second half, and Madden would dearly like to start them again. He couldn't take the mark. McKay's booted too. He gets claimed. Champion over the line. Big Justin jostling Clark. Madden over the back. Champion a hand to it. Wobble towards halfback. Opportunity for Heaver. Pearce will drift into the pocket, but he won't get there in time, and it's another throw in.
Yes, it's amazing, Don, isn't it? Football squares itself up, I suppose. Bears got that goal, which was really a point, and now that very soft free kick on the boundary line. So I suppose it does have a habit of...
We could see two umpires, well, officiating in the country next week.
Kennedy right on the 50-metre line defensively. Comes out wide centre wing and picks out Giulio. So disappointing kick there. Giulio's been very good. Kicks back. Cooter in front. Knocked to ground. Ratton finds a bit of space, then chips it to Mackay. Over his head. Falls back to Lappin. Lappin has Akamanis out wide. Kape comes back hard and does very well to keep the ball under control. Back to Heaver. Heaver has players out wide. It's Brown. Brown waits, can't get hold of it. Scott kicks it high and wide. Ratton comes at it hard. Clappe. So just a bit of unproductive play here. Carlton forcing the ball forward, trying to find a marker up forward. Belted away again by the Bears to Fletcher. Lambert. Now to Akamanis under pressure from Giulio. Kicks the ball wide and finds Voss.
Good. Michael Voss is on right half forward. He'll look down towards McIver and go. Oh, a runner's gone to ground behind play. He's picked himself up. There's been some pushing going on, and it's not only on the trainer that went to ground. It goes to Lynch. A centering kick by Alistair Lynch. A big pack of players once again. Snap, and it's an airy. Manton tries to wobble it out. Heaver ridden into the ground by McAdam. Buse shrugs the tackle. Buse goes for goal from 35 metres out, and Busey has put it right up there in the teeth of goal. McIver can kick this, and he's missed. It slewed off the side of the boot for one behind. 28 plays 45 as John Northey and co, including Roger Merritt on his left, look on.
Yes, tremendous pressure. Carlton really forced the issue then, but great breakaway eventually by the Bears. Chips and goes to Heaver. So Heaver between fullback and centre halfback now has Sexton. Voss has to come at him over the top of those players. Beautifully picked up by Koutafidis. Sexton's been terrific across halfback. Kicks the ball forward. Clappe comes at it hard. Can't grab hold of it. Kernahan tries to go off the ground. Falls to Gowers. Gowers under pressure, kicks the ball back in towards the centre of the ground. Koutafidis off the ground. It really is slippery now. As we have a game of soccer here in Euro 96, it now falls to the goalkeeper in Williams. He kicks in the path of Pearce. Pearce with a quick kick over his shoulder. This will run. Well, it goes through. No, misses. So only a point results. So the margin back to 18 points.
She'll have Eric Cantona out on the ground. 28 plays 46. Lappin to bring it back in. Stabbing to Andy Gowers. Tough week for Andy, losing his father, but then sadness turned to joy when his young wife gave birth to their third child. That was a not so subtle push. And Clark will take it on the defensive side of centre.
Big baby too, Sandy. 10 pound 4.
Thank you, Doctor. Clark drifting it in towards the middle. McAdam in front of the pack. He started on the bench, but he twists away from Williams beautifully. Played by the 100 game up towards McIver. Fisted away from him and no whistle sounded. Diulio almost gave away a free kick. McIver couldn't get a run at it. Diulio again says, I'm getting out of here, to the boundary line. Now where's the consistency?
No, different umpire. Different umpire.
True.
Dennis Richards down there. He's got 42 years. I was going to say experience, but he hasn't been umpiring that long.
Started in a nappy. Throw him. Madden. Camporelli. Voss. A snap by Michael Voss is high and in towards McIver. Christou comes over the top. McAdam pulled off the ball. Dennis Rich keeping a close eye on it. Lynch can't get an effective snap. The defence of Carlton is so miserly.
Yes, she'll throw this up about 25 metres from the Bears' goals. They really need to force something here. Ball to ground, falls to Ackermanis. Silvani comes and takes his legs away. Camporelli has been good, wobbles it forward. Players just throw themselves at it. It is pretty tough and uncompromising, and it really is a great contest. Ratton last to get up. Madden knocks it back, and Ackermanis takes it over the line. McIver having a rest, and coming on is Tristan Lynch. Here he is as he runs across the centre of the ground, but a boundary throw in still. A huge leap from Clark, and the kick lands just inside, and the boundary umpire right there and called it correctly.
We might have blackouts down in Melbourne. Could you hear that false fire alarm going up here? They've cleared the stand.
We're the only ones left.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on here.
I'll take it.
Kudafides.
You fight the fire. Kudafides into the middle. Clappe burns towards the centre. I shouldn't have said that. Gow's over there. Clappe still going. Lepic there as well. Oh, look at Matt Clappe. Almost had his head ripped off, and he's got to get a free kick. Just great persistence by Matt Clappe, and is duly rewarded. Runs off now. Stabs into half forward, just over the head of Ratton, and the mark is taken by Fletcher. Comes to Tristan Lynch. He started on the bench too. Gets his chance in the second half. Kicks towards Ackermanis.
Oh, that's a free kick.
He was certainly looking for it.
Giulio knew he gave it away. He was looking at the umpire to see whether he was pinged.
And he's still...
Oh! That man will have to go to the bush next week, Malcolm.
And now Jason Ackermanis, after chatting with the umpire, has seen his side lose control of the ball. Listen to the Brisbane Bears fans. They're not happy about this, but Manton has got it with White on the mark. Kicks towards centre wing. Buse is at the back of the pack, and he's quite happy to see it over the line. What happened there, Malcolm?
Actually, I looked away. Just one of the interesting things now is that when sides used to play the Bears not all that long ago, it used to be the booing from the side that they played against. Now it's coming from the other way. Yeah. So they really have support here in Brisbane,
which is great to see. Full house. It's been sold out for 4 weeks, this game. Here's Ashcroft towards half forward, and the mark taken by McRae. He's got a couple of runners going through the middle. One is Michael Voss. He'll swing around now and get onto the right boot. He'll kick from 53 metres. They need a goal, but it's away to the right, and a good diving mark is taken by Sexton.
Yes, most improved player, one of the most improved players in the competition. He really is a terrific player now. And State of Origin player, Kernahan and champion. Kernahan knocks it on. Hughes reads it beautifully from behind. Now has some space. Tries to chip the ball to McAdam. It's good. Hickmott was better. Came across and cut that play out. Falls to Whitehead. Whitehead comes around to Camporelli. Tries to body the ball. Does it pretty well in the end. To Williams. Oh, the Blues are away now with Heaver. Madden's by himself if the kick can get there. Just not long enough. It ends up with Big Justin.
Sprinting.
Wants some help. It comes in the form of Brown. Brown can't control it. Pearce gets end ups with Brown. Kernahan kicks it and slings. 3-on-1 here if they can get this, the Blues. Surely they've got to have the numbers. De Pearce can't quite pick it up, loses the ball in the tackle, and Lappin does very well. And a ball up just inside 50. Carlton in attack.
Under 10 minutes remaining in this third quarter. 18 points the margin. It was 13 at half time, so they haven't made any impression as yet. Adrian Fletcher picks himself up. 8 kicks, 4 hand passes towards Clark. Waiting down in front is Buse. Dodges nicely, then spirals a punt kick up towards half forward. Well done by McRae. He skis over the boundary line, but he managed to get a hand on the ball to spoil Ange Christou, and they're giving that boundary up by the rounds of the kitchen.
Or was it the umpire? He copped something. A missile coming over the
Clark
fence.
jostling. Williams like lightning out, but straight to Lambert. He's in trouble. Whitehead's got him. Picked up by Tristan Lynch. A hurried kick to right half forward. A chance for Gilbert McAdam, but there's been a whistle. It's coming back. It's a Carlton free kick.
Adrian Hickmott.
He's tucked in the back pocket. He'll look towards Kernahan and Madden. They're both there, but unable to mark. Kennedy down towards Adrian Fletcher. The former Cat, the former Saint, to half forward. Or White through, anticipated, almost got there. McRae under pressure, gives it away to Koutafidis. He handled it like a hot potato. It was a slippery one too. McRae again wobbles it into the pocket. Here goes Leppich. He's like lightning. Can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. Towards Darryl White. Now here's the master in front of goal here. What can he produce? Can he get clear? No, he can't. Brown is there, and it's picked up by Hickmott eventually. Around his body, Whitehead, McRae towards the boundary line and over. And there might be 18 points the margin, but it is still very, very tight.
A boundary throw-in. 2 big fellas go at it. And just the one goal for the quarter. It has been very tight indeed. Great tackling, great pressure. Players just having trouble with their feet, or holding onto their feet, and also the ball. So it really does enable some tackling, and the stats in tackling will be very, very high for both sides. At this stage, 21 and 28 apiece. So 50 tackles, getting up there. Kicks out from the pack, tapped on by Kennedy. Pretty good little duel that, hasn't it, Delio and Ackermanis. And another boundary throw in. So Carlton quite content to keep this ball in this pocket. It is the wider pocket here, we know that, the Gabba. And it's unusual to see the side.
Sexton mouthing off toward. Oh no, he's being told to go off the ground. Must be a blood thing. I thought he was having an argument with Dennis Rich.
Stephen Kernahan immediately comes down. So does Matt Clappe. So just brilliant team from the Carlton side. As you see a player go off, certainly in the defensive area. So pretty well drilled team. Clappe goes down to pick up Leppich. It's Welsh coming on.
The Welsh will go down the forward line. Clappe's going to stay on at Leppich.
Yeah, the skipper called that. Terrific stuff. Stay there. We're all set up. So we go back into play again. Big pack of players. Huge pack of players. Terrific done by Ratton. Really did it very well. Falls over the back. Heaver has some space. Kicks it quickly. This will go over the players' heads. And in fact, Lappin was beautifully judged mark from behind and kicks out to Lynch.
Tristan Lynch. To centre wing. Kennedy and Koutafidis over the line. There's the blood rule coming into play. He'll be back in the fray very soon. Clark had front spot. Williams read it beautifully. Whitehead leaves it for Brown, who soccers off the ground and gets plenty of distance, but well spotted by Richard Champion. Off to Lappin. That's wide. That's out of bounds on the full. Just a little too far for Michael Voss. So Scott Camberelli. In towards half forward. Pearce the flyer. And a whistle. Peter Carey has found a free kick.
Ping Fraser Brown. Holding on to Lambert.
So Craig Lambert will take it. 17 possessions for him so far. 11 of those hand passes. Comes to Clark. It bounces off his chest like it was rubber. Koutafidis is there for Carlton, but he's got to do it on his own. It slips away from him to Kennedy. Kennedy looks down towards half-forward Christou. Eyes for the ball. Now Ratton. Clever kick. That's all he wanted, Brett Ratton. Club champion.
Just thinking, Stanley, this is really hard work on this side. This is quite heavy,
Yeah,
all the players, and we've had to play here for quite some time. Really going to be leg weary for him.
Madden and Clark. Madden with a left, but taken by Ashcroft. Marcus Ashcroft to right half forward. Ackermanis wants a free kick. He doesn't get it. He's not too happy. Christou pumps it back towards the middle, taken by Lambert. Now he wants someone going past. Buse is there. Brown's on his hammer. McAdam can do the shepherding. Buse is away. Spears a worm burner into half forward. Leppich. Going to be free kick for holding. He's a long way out. A long way out. Goes into the pocket region. Manton is there for Carlton. Does it well, giving it away to DiIulio, and the Blues are out of trouble for the moment.
Goes to Clappe, has to come back. The ball spills off his hands. Now wants some time, gets caught on his left foot, just chips the ball forward and straight to Buse. Buse repels this attack, goes lovely, short, and this is Lappin in the forward line now, which John thinks a terrific move up around the centre, and that's what he can do. Been a good player in around that midfield area, and the move's been made. And
Actually, I think he's going to trot back, Malcolm. He's just run down the midfield. Oh no, you're right. He's just going down to congratulate Buse. He's gone down to the half-back line.
So Alastair Lynch. He's kicked 2. And if the Bears really want, this is the time now. 18 points the margin. Just over 5 minutes to go this third quarter. Crucial kick, and he's pushed it right. So one the Bears were looking for, one they needed just to get some momentum, and unfortunately Alastair Lynch has missed and has now kicked 2 goals, 1 for the evening.
And they've got, what, 3 behinds for the quarter.
Darryl White going off. Danny Dickfoss on for the Bears, and Welsh is going off for Carlton, and so is Madden. So Sexton and Allen both coming on.
Fine attempt by Voss on Christou's kick. Brett Allen comes across. The man in white as Darryl White benched. Voss. Kennedy taken off it. Well done by Hickmott. Ratton caught. Ridden to the ground. And again, the gardener from Geelong comes in for a ball up. Clark and Allen. Allen gets front spot. Hickmott flicks it round his body. Lappin first to it. Runs into Kernahan. Still has the football. Somehow gets it out towards Fletcher. He wants Champion. Richard Champion off the side of the boot. Wobbles it to half forward. And a strong mark taken by Ange Christou. Leppich on the mark. Christou kicks up over the centre towards Kernahan. Champion is once again there with him. Ratton waiting down is caught. Sensationally. Champion takes it. He wants McAdam. He flicks it away. Camporelli gives it out towards Williams. He pumps them inside 50. A chance for Allen. Boot to ball. It's a high kick going in towards the pocket region. Pearce couldn't take it. Some holding on, however. And so once again, Scott will relieve the pressure to McAdam. It's still very tight.
It is indeed. Lappin starting to get some of the balls up on near the centre, and like it's always a hard decision that whether you play one on Pearce. He is odd to match up. I think they've just liked a little bit of run around that midfield. I know it's been a tough night. Kennedy, they really have hugged this boundary line. They will be very tired tonight, the players. This has been tough all day. Voss to Lambert and back to Voss. Great skills to Lynch. Alastair Lynch leads early. Now Lepic is long at the back. He tries to go to that player and the kick doesn't quite get there. There's a number of Bears there.
Kick surely.
Now Sexton back on the ground. Just unloads, kicks the ball back. Kernahan comes to meet it. Can't get hold of it. The ball's been on the ground. It's very slippery. Players will have trouble picking this up. And if Clappe did, got caught and then lost it. But umpire will take a bounce. Right on centre wing. And the margin 17 points, and the Bears have yet to get a goal in this third quarter. Free kick to Heaver, sitting in underneath the pack, holding the man.
Only 2 players have kicked multiple goals. Alistair Lynch and Andy McKay. Christie wobbles it into the pocket. Fraser Brown sees it over the line with Gilbert McAdam.
Carlton still the only team playing with any real confidence. They're prepared to run, whereas the Brisbane just can't seem to string a series of plays together. There's the bench. Scott Clayton on the right, John Northey on the phone, Roger Merritt.
Clark, Ashcroft. Kernahan almost ran into his own man. Fraser Brown somehow gets through some very heavy traffic, gives it away, but that kick is again slewing off to the side by Brent Heaver.
Certainly when we said at the start of the game in that first quarter, it didn't look like a 20-goal. Some of the sides would kick 20 goals, is it? They're not going to kick 20 between them. It's 11 now. It's very tight.
Yeah. Well, Brisbane kicked 2 in the first quarter, and they've managed only 2 since then. And really, it was only that purple patch from Carlton that enabled them to sneak away just for a moment or so and open up that break. Lambert to the outer wing. Sexton cuts across. Gains probably 25-30 metres before another throw-in takes place. Hickmott in the hands of the trainers. I'll keep an eye on him. Allen, Voss, and again locked up, but they just try and surge it forward, and they're so skilled at doing it. Camporelli goes towards McKay. He's taken off the football. He's over the line, and if you'd said to him at the start of the night, you'll be the leading goal kicker for Carlton, he'd say, well, blow me down with a truck.
Did he really?
Lambert, Heaver, under pressure, loses it. Players try to work this out to Brown. Swings it round his body. Kernahan can't get hold of it. Comes on to Brett Ratton, and Ratton's very happy with that, and Carlton are too. Broke the deadlock. Carlton got the goal, and that margin now just creeps out again. And
well, the conditions really not helping in this situation. It's been a scrambly third quarter, and there it is finally coming. As I said, Carlton the only ones seem to be making the play, getting fellows out. They seem to be a little bit crisper in their delivery of the ball. Brett Ratton worked hard.
Inside the last minute, Brown towards Kernahan and Champion. Kernahan!
It was excellent play by Allen. He really jumped into Clark. Clark hurt himself. And the players going across and acknowledging the effort. Every player running across to acknowledge the effort of Allen back in the centre.
What a vital minute. Already Ratton has kicked one, and now Kernahan, after taking that mark, has the chance to really hurt Brisbane. So close to siren time. Made his debut back in 1986. Following year was appointed captain and has been the skipper ever since, and what a captain he's been. I think he's missed that to the left. David Parkin is already down on the sidelines. Chris Scott marks in the back pocket. So Carlton will take a very handy lead into the final term. Koudafidi's edged out. He was in front of the pack. Clappe there also. They pounce upon him. Kennedy has locked him up. Brisbane have kicked 4 goals in 3 quarters almost. They're almost 4 goals down, so they've got the job ahead of them. It's 3/4 time. Carlton only kicked a couple in that term, but when they were able to restrict Brisbane to just 3 behinds, they have certainly done their job. As the Bears Brains Trust comes out, and David Parkin, Ron Welsh, Craig Bradley there. There's Michael Voss and Nigel Lappin coming into the game in that third quarter. Allen in his 23rd game, and Roger Merritt, the old warhorse, wondering when he'll get another chance. Injury problems have hurt him in recent times.
It's really been 2 bursts, hasn't it? Carlton at the start of that second quarter kicked 3, and now they've kicked 2 late in the third quarter. When a lot of games are won, and great sides tend to do that. They kick goals in burst and have that ability to then squash the opposition. Carlton have been doing that to the Bears beautifully.
And they lead, Malcolm. They take a very handy lead into the final term. It's 8-6-54. Brisbane are 4-5, 29. Here we go, final term. You get the real strong. Madden and Clark. Brown out of the middle. Darryl White back on the ground, charges towards the footy, overruns it, picked up by Camporelli, towards Pearce, a little too high. At the back is McAdam, pushed towards the boundary line. Andrew McKay is with him. He can't keep it in play. It's over for a throw-in. He's kicked a couple of goals, though. Andrew McKay, both in the second quarter. Is that Craig Lambert on the bottom there, on the bench? Looks as though it is, as we go back from the throw-in.
Richard Champion kicks the ball forward to White. Can't control it. He's had trouble keeping his feet. Manton does very well. Gives it off to Ratton. Now has to kick the ball in towards centre half forward. Contest plays in over the top of it. Voss worked hard underneath tonight. Shown a different style tonight to what we've seen from him. Williams to Big Madden. Justin Madden spirals the ball forward. McAdam does the right thing, felt Mackay coming, and punched the ball to the safety of the boundary line.
The Bears have got Keating back on at centre half forward. I thought he worked particularly hard when he was on there early in the game, Keating.
So boundary throw in. Clark and Kernahan. Taps it back towards the goal. Champion caught. Gives it off to Buse. Been pretty good at the back again. Kicks it. Kudafidi sits and runs with the footy and does it very well. Gives it off to his mate Christou. Ange Christou goes out wide. Brown taps it to himself, then throws it onto the boot, dribbles it towards the boundary line, and they are terrific at this, Carlton. They really don't give any ground. They don't try and do anything fancy under pressure. And proud record that club has, and current, well, in fact, reigning premiers. Ratton worked as hard as anyone tonight. Buse recovers, now caught. Brown spins out of trouble, kicks the ball back to centre half forward. Really has opened up the game here. Here's the chance. The Bears can get it, perhaps can go quickly forward, but Manton does well and holds them up.
And it looks as though they will return to the top of the ladder after this game, unless the Bears can hit a purple patch, because the winner of this game tonight will leapfrog over North Melbourne, who came unstuck against Sydney. And Tony Lockett, Kernahan just tries to slap it out. The intention was great. The execution, well, he couldn't quite do it. Just slid away from the ball. He's able to now lock it up, and there'll be another ball up. Richard Champion. Started out with the Woodville Club, home of the great M. Blight, that has now settled in here at Brisbane.
It was a shepherding decision which allowed Clark to get up for that knockout unattended. It was on Kernahan, as you can see. He has received the free kick. And he's well within kicking distance, Stephen.
This is going to make it almost impossible, as Sticks Kernahan kicked one in the second quarter. Oh, he won't add to that with that kick. As the Cheerios go out for the Brisbane Bears players. Andrew Buse will wait for that ball to be relayed back. Comes to the half-back flank. Madden and Kernahan to spoil from behind. Waiting down in front was Voss. He's tried his heart out, Michael Voss. Kicks up towards centre wing. Keating tried to slap it towards the boundary line. Christou's hand pass goes to Brown. He is very close to the line and he sees it over.
It was always going to go there, wasn't it?
Yep, no doubt about it. She's got her problems.
Yes, and not happy about that decision. They thought it was deliberate. Camporelli caught. Brown to Williams. Just throws it on the boot, moves it forward. Clark. And Sexton in over the top and pushes it out. Another boundary throw, and this really is suiting Carlton. Interesting, they've played this side of the ground. Most other sides coming up here try and play the other, with the distance being a bit wider on this side. Not sure if that's been planned tonight, Don. What do you think?
No, I don't know. It's the conditions, Malcolm, as far, because they just can't move the ball out of here cleanly.
Rain starting to fall
again, Sandy.
Yep.
Clark gets the front spot.
Should have been a free kick to Clark on that occasion.
And Camporelli skids over the ground and out of bounds. So once again, this tight contest continues. Carlton with the advantage and the rain.
Lights are still on though, Malcolm. You're relieved.
Yes, I'm sure the players are too. Now, interesting, if the lights did go off at this stage, Don, would you award the game or would you play the last 12
minutes? There is no answer to this. I've given up. I gave them 4 points each last week.
How could you give them 4 points?
Oh, well, how can you play the game again?
Well, they didn't play it again. They only played part of it.
Oh.
Here we go, Lappin. Carrying the ball towards him. Don't take it out, son. You'll get pinged again. Cleverly taps it along the boundary line. Ratton wants to see it out, and he's happy to see it.
So it's still on centre wing, and one feels as though it's been there for an eternity. Clark and Madden to contest.
Yes, good decision. Break it up.
Oh.
Yes, he's got to break it up. Get the thing going.
But was
that free kick was there? It was against Clark. It was holding.
Well, don't say break it up then. It was a free kick.
Yes. He's only human. There's no need to snap at him. Fletcher.
What have I done wrong tonight? Turn up.
Madden. Yes, you turned up. Clark over the top. Tristan Lynch around his body. The Bears to go inside 50, or Hickmont stood his ground. So too did DiIulio. It bounces back towards Keating. Oh, he turns against the tide. Gives the hand pass away. Silvani got a hand to it. Voss twists beautifully out of trouble. He sees Lappin down there on the 50, and he takes the
Lynch is by himself, but he just...
Well, he goes now short. Keating slips at the crucial time. Ackermanis, Don, yes, here's a chance. 40 metres out, he hooks it round his body, but not nearly enough.
That's an indication of the pressure that the Bears think that they're under, or that Carlton subjected them to earlier in the quarter, because he had plenty of time there, Jason Ackermanis.
Hickmont relieves. Goes out at the 50-metre line. Keating punches it back. DiIulio swings the ball around to the boundary line. I mean, it's interesting when you say that you had that kick Lappin into Lynch, and Keating off again. It is the hardest kick in football to kick it on the back move and to kick over someone's head, as Silvani was running back onto Lynch. So I thought his decision was pretty good, and Keating just unfortunately
I'd say it'd be practically
over.
impossible to kick it on the back move, wouldn't it? You mean he just was too early with the lead?
Yes, here's Lepich, falls to him. He's a speedster, goes towards goal, and once again he's missed and out of bounds on the full. So the kicking from both sides at the start of this last quarter hasn't been good. The ball is slippery, as we've mentioned many times. That shower of rain has now passed, and Silvani kicks it back out.
Midway through this last quarter, and there's been no score. Thrown again. I think Don's been overcome tonight by Rob and Joanne, Malcolm. It's been marvellous news for him.
There's a play on words that I could use, but we'll continue.
Don't. Here's the throw-in. Carlton in control as Ratton gives the hand pass away to his lookalike in Heaver, off to Diesel. Williams is heading for home, 75 metres in towards the forward pocket region. At the back is Buse, with him is Gowes. Buse takes a chance, Swings the hand pass in towards McAdam. He goes back to Gowers. Andy Gowers in front of the scoreboard, hugs the boundary line. It's okay to Lappin. Lappin another one towards Tristan Lynch. He's almost down towards centre wing and Kennedy. Kennedy another 100 gamer tonight. Puts them inside 50. Christou got a hand to it. A fist over the back. And out of bounds. Misty rain still falling. But it was the heavy showers earlier in the night that really did the damage. Made it very difficult, very slippery. Lepich, Chris Scott also coming across to contest the ruck work. Heaver overruns it. Ratton was at the bottom. Spoon forward towards DiIulio. Took a couple of great marks earlier in the night. He kicks wide towards Kernahan and Champion, and again over the line. 4-5 plays 8-6. That was the scoreline at three-quarter time.
The boundary thrown on the wing. My shoes phrased tonight. Boundary thrown on the wing. DiIulio off the ground. Camporelli. It's been good out in the wing. Tries to sock it off the ground. Lynch comes back to assist him. Nakamanis now in trouble. Kicks back in towards the centre of the ground. Sexton's read it beautifully most of the night. Been very good at centre half back. Having trouble picking this up. Somehow or other gets out of the trouble. Gives it to Mackay to Hickmont, who kicks under enormous pressure. Now this falls to McRae. Christou comes at him. Now has to kick around his body, and the ball falls for Silvani. Great body work from Lynch. Terrific stuff. Lynch just in space now. Has time, settles. Big goal coming up. No, just fades away.
Just not going their way.
So, yes, you're right, Don. Not quite. So the margin, 4 goals.
2 goals, 2 to Alistair Lynch. Great battle between he and Kernahan. You see the strength of Lynch. Got him across the ground, and then he bumped Silvani off the ball. Not an easy thing to do. It's an interesting stat, isn't it? 26.5 minutes in the second quarter, the last goal for the Bears.
McRae's lost his boot as Darryl White takes the mark. It's been pretty quiet though, Darryl White. It's his 3rd mark and just 4 kicks. Goes short to Lambert. And the distance will still test Craig Lambert. But as usual, he's been busy. 13 hand passes, 9 kicks and 4 marks from 46 metres. They desperately need a goal, and he's got it for them. He's got it. Craig Lambert gets his first goal. Brisbane hang in there, but they've got 12.5 minutes to beat a minimum of 3, Donald.
Well, and you say, Sandy, that they couldn't do it because the way this game's being played, very hard to handle this ball cleanly. And there he is, he's getting onto them, Craig, but I think it's in vain, Craig.
So the ball comes out the middle. Gowers, hands and knees, taps it back to Lynch. Lynch almost away. Heaver caught him. And that ball won't go out, so Heaver has a bit of time now. Great shepherd from behind. Fantastic teamwork by the Blues. Big kick into the forward line. Falls over the back. Scott first back. Scoops the ball up with a handball towards McAdam. Now to White. Wants support. Gets it in. Champion, who puts the ball on the ground. Flips it out the back. Pearce gives it off to Williams. Williams doesn't quite hit the handball right because it's slippery. DiIulio into control of the footy. And the kick comes out quickly, and a minor score to Anthony Koutafidis. So the Blues, that point, now push that margin back to 19 points.
Roger Merritt looks on as Chris Scott kicks it towards half back. Here's Manton for a moment. White also, and Brown. Kennedy. Now Williams inside 50. Diesel Williams tucked on the boundary line. Had to flick it round his body. Not happy with the result. It'll be a throw in. He was asking the question for out on the full. 55 plays 36. Lappin lopes away. Kicks towards centre wing. Still in that position. Picked up by Voss. Kicks down towards right half forward. Now the race is on. Lynch comes out. It's almost thrown out towards Silvani. He takes it, then sweeps a hand pass to Madden. Well, towards Madden and Ratton. Diulio there also. Fletcher for the Bears. Close to the boundary line. Whitehead pops it up over the top. Camporelli is caught by Ackermanis. The ball spills free. Fletcher tries to break away, but there's been a whistle, and it's going to go the way of Carlton. Taken by Diulio. He goes short to Manton. Glenn Manton. Well, it was good interception in the end because he wanted Sexton. He didn't get him. Fletcher off to Lambert. He wants Lynch. Silvani comes out to meet him.
Free kick. Free kick, Sandy.
So will it be Lynch who'll get a chance to go deep into goal? 36 plays 55.
And he kicked one from here. No, it was a little bit further, a little closer. In the second quarter, Alistair Lynch.
You work out the free kick?
Oh, I'm still deciding. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, I was pretty soft, but it was in the back. But that man has given some mystifying decisions tonight.
He's kicking from 50. It's a vital kick, but it's away to the right. And behind. What's he got? 2-3. Alistair Lynch. 2 goals, 3 with just over 10 minutes remaining.
Yeah, 3 goals. Next goal to the Bears, and I'm sure the crowd will get very noisy and get right behind them. Players in over the top from the kick out. And once again, the ball goes towards the boundary line and in about the wing position. So boundary throw in. Nigel Lappin. 9 kicks, 5 marks and 5 handballs. Played on Pearce early and really has come into the game since he moved to that wing position in the third quarter. It's been very lively. So it's Greg Williams in and underneath there.
Yes, 10 hand passes, 7 kicks for Diesel tonight.
Yes, nothing's been clean from any player, really, has it? It's just been hard work. Yeah. And you've got to be prepared to stand your ground. Lambert off to Ackermanis and Lepic in front. Now here's a chance for the Bears. Lynch leads. Lepic goes long, tries to wobble it forward. Silvani back there. Coming in for the Bears is McRae. Goes to the ground under pressure. So the veteran Silvani comes back inside with a lovely kick to Camporelli. Now he can run. Has players running for him. Clappe over his head. Gowers goes to the punch. Champion reaches it.
Ooh.
Bashes through. Terrific stuff. Heaver. Now with time. Mackay. Buse comes to him. Mackay kicks. Oh, this could bounce through. This could be it. Third goal. No, it's hit the post.
Hit the post.
Hit the post low down. And
would
really,
it hit the back of the post, do you think?
well, I've seen actually given a goal. Richard Champion in a bit of trouble.
Gee, don't let... Oh, no. He's holding his knee.
Yes, that would be bad luck. He came hard. Hopefully it was just a knock rather than the way he went to ground.
He's walking, so he seems to be okay. Maybe it's a medial.
And the kick out goes back just over the 50-metre line.
He was picked up by Ashcroft. He kicks towards centre wing. Voss and Whitehead give chase. Whitehead comes away. Has a little bit of time, but then it slews off the side of the boot again. And a throw in on the outer wing. 8-8 plays 5-7. There's Jason Ackermanis. Justin Madden. 322nd game. He is the senior citizen as far as players are concerned at the moment in the game. Inside 50, Gowers right over it. Buse tries to get through. Fraser Brown there for Carlton, but the whistle had already sounded. The whistle of Brett Allen. That's going to go the way of Brisbane, to be taken by Buse. Tried very hard. 13 kicks, 4 marks, 4 hand passes for the Rat. No one on the mark, so away he goes up towards centre wing. Clark drops it, recovers well. Brown past Lambert and over the ricochet off his leg on the full. So bad luck for Fraser Brown, but it keeps it alive for Jason Ackermanis. He puts them towards 50 over the head of Lepic. Coming out a long way as Lynch gave it away towards Sexton. He kicks back some 30 metres or so. Picked up by Lappin. Nicely controlled. Lappin has a look towards the 50. It's a high kick, or a couple went very early. Voss caught, does get a kick away. Once again, the Carlton defence stand tall. Camporelli's kick travels 25-30 metres. Allen does well to shove it on towards Ratton. Ratton kicks along the ground to Lappin. It's a high kick, that's wide. That is just about into the social club. Out on the full.
He's just on 7 minutes remaining. Camporelli kicks back to the pack. Fist from behind. Ball falls to the ground. Ratton. Just remarkable worker, isn't he? It's Nigel Lappin. And thrown up by Peter Carey. Ball comes out in front, Mackay. Beautiful handball to Heaver. Has support into Julio. Julio chips and beautifully to Pearce. Just can't get hold of it. Scott recovers pretty well and then he's forced over the line and another boundary throw in. Chris Scott now playing on Pearce. It's been a pretty tough night for forwards. Hasn't been a lot of set-up plays. It's been just yardage. Here's some more from Brown. Now to Ratton. Standing start. Kicks. Pearce somehow rather pinches it off of Chris Scott in a remarkable mark.
Could have actually played on then, Malcolm, because he had him offside.
I just think that's fair comment, Don, but I just think so many players have slipped as they've gone to take off quickly. They perhaps thought better of it. Lepic off. So could we have the sealer here? It's been hard work for both sides. Pearce kicks and kicks truly.
Well, he has been kept quiet tonight, Pearce. Lappin, although he gave away the free kick early, did a pretty good job on him. He was very defensive. He's figured into the play since he's gone down on the centre wing. But these conditions not suiting Pearce because he can't run across the ground as quick. But there he is, just reading the play just a little bit better than Scott.
Two goals to Pearce, and Carlton now will go back to the top of the ladder because with just a few minutes remaining they've got an unassailable lead. Camporelli soccers off the ground. It gives Voss a chance to put the Bears into attack, and a strong mark taken by the diving Lynch. Time is their enemy. 5.5 minutes remaining, and it is 62 playing 37.
Magnificent athlete.
25 points the margin. Lynch going for his third, and they need this badly. Again, he's away to the right, and that's out of bounds on the full, in fact, so it is way right. Well, you said at the start of the night, Malcolm, you felt it could be the night of the pros, and it has been a most professional approach by Carlton in these conditions.
Yes, it has been, and you know the Bears have certainly tried valiantly, but just those 2 5-minute patches, I thought, in the second quarter and also towards the end of the third quarter there.
Good tackle on Michael Voss. Sees that ball still on the outer side in front of the Bears Social Club. Sees them down by 25 points. Tristan Lynch couldn't take it cleanly at the first attempt, eventually sockered away out of the danger zone as far as Carlton is concerned to that outer wing. There'll be some heavy legs too after this game, particularly with the amount of work that's been done on the opposite side that they're on now, because that is where the ground has become the heaviest because of the rain. Julio wanted to go on, but it's got to go back to Fraser Brown. 24 possessions for Fraser Brown, so he's certainly been a trier. Kennedy tried to flick it over the top. Fletcher now gives it away towards Marcus Ashcroft. Ashcroft straight to Fraser Brown again. Little shades of keepies off there as he gives it to Hickmott. Hickmott's kick is going to drop short.
It's understandable. A lot of sting's gone out of this game now.
Ah, yeah. Richard Champion to right half forward. Clark trying to steal it from the back, and Fraser just slaps it to the line.
Yes, it'll probably be unfair when the history books show that the Bears have only kicked 5 goals really in the conditions, Yeah, he really should have heavy or light, as the history books show, but sport hasn't been has been a tough night for all players. Off to Clappe. Scott sits underneath it and has been paid the mark.
Heavy or light?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a lot of records in the game that conditions have a hell of a lot to do with what happens as a result, as in scoring. And certainly since the out of bounds and the full rules kicked in, forwards kick more goals. I mean, it's just known because it's a different rule. Anyhow, Gilbert goes off the ground. Clappe's been terrific and in tight. He's made contest out after contest. White wants some support, gets it from McAdam. Back to White in the old 1-2. Just hangs onto the ball a bit long, and Silvani happy to see it out. And congratulated there by his teammate in Ange Christou. And the Blue Boys, just over 3 minutes. Yes, the sting has gone out of this game, and I guess it's really now just salvage something. A goal or two. Percentage does mean a hell of a lot to all sides. It'll be pretty tight at the end of the year. And the ball forced out again.
So it'll be a mixed old trip back to Port Hedland for Rob and Joanne, won't it?
Why?
In their engagement.
I don't think they really worry about who wins tonight, Sandy.
Well, Joe is a Bears supporter.
Well, I think
they've got other things on their mind.
Well, unless it was a draw. Oh, you're right.
Well, what about a draw, Mel?
Well, I think one of them was going to be disappointed anyhow. Keating. Heaver. I reckon he's been terrific. There's a high tackle. It was good early. Brent Heaver got in underneath.
I just hope they get that heavy and light in those history books. There'll be a lot of work going back over the years. A lot of results to record.
Well, you were here though, that's good. To Brown, up past him, Gowers goes off the ground, so does Lappin, and another boundary throw in. So they really have worked overtime, these guys in blue, Don.
Blue, the umpire. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the police, but you mean those boundary umpires.
Allen. Clark does well there, gets to the front, to Lappin. Kicks the ball, it's going to be close to the boundary line. Sexton comes back through his arms. Diulio tries to keep it in, does. And the Blue Boys share the footy nicely. White in front, Manton goes towards the boundary line. Voss caught.
Good tackle, man. He's done well, hasn't
White tries to finesse in these sort of conditions, which is always difficult. And abuse.
No, play on. Someone's blown a whistle.
Good heavens.
Oh,
well, it was unanimous. Everyone stopped, and umpire Peter Carey in the middle calling play on. Ashcroft goes forward, pushing and shoving over the back. Now here's Christou coming Ackermanis, and Christou goes for an own goal, which is in fact the point. So the Bears just moved their score up to 5-8.
What do you think of that, Malcolm? You've come up with a few revolutionary ideas. That kicking through like that should be a goal of the opposition.
No, of course not.
Why not?
Oh,
you could do something in the history book with it, surely.
Hickmott to the outer side and over once more. So Brisbane next week will be back at this ground.
Playing Melbourne?
Yes. And Collingwood will take on Carlton. From the throw in, Lappin again sees it spinning towards the line. Brown gets him, keeps it in for Ashcroft. Marcus Ashcroft back towards the 50. Sexton got a hand to it. Stolen, however. Here's an opportunity now for Lynch at the back. Got a hand to it. Taken out of it by Silvani in no uncertain fashion, and he's going to get a free kick.
But surely, I thought he put his head down then, Lynch. Watch, he puts his head down.
Well, he was already down, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Kernahan did that earlier and was pinged. Good player, Stephen Silvani. So is Alistair Lynch.
I think the look from Steve said it
all,
all,
doesn't it?
And Williams is preventing him running round, but he will get a little. He'll sneak a bit. That's still pretty wide. That's out of bounds on the full on the other side of the
play
ground.
by Williams. I mean, it's late in the game. There's nothing to be achieved, but that just shows the way they go about it, Carlton.
Ditto, Don.
Ditto.
They make nuts on the ditters.
Anthony Koutafidis waits for the ball.
It's going to be a long week this week.
Most people here wait for the siren, in which will be a great Carlton victory, which will send them to the top of the ladder. The margin's 4 goals, and to keep the Bears down to 5, albeit in pretty trying conditions. But not a lot of people have left here, which is interesting. And 5 times this quarter, Alastair Lynch kicked the ball out of bounds. So his boots have been off, but he certainly had a lot of friends. Falls to Tristan Lynch. And Adrian Hickmott comes back and saves the day for the Blues.
Been a good pickup, hasn't he, Lynch? Oh, I mean, Hickmott.
From fullback. Champion comes charging at Manton. Sails over the top. And there'll be another throw in.
Be a lot of weeding done in the garden this week, Malcolm, wouldn't it? After Jeff Kennett's announcement through the week. Stuff you bought across from South Australia.
You're not still on that.
Oh, well, I thought we'd been for a little bit of a go there. We got in early, Malcolm and I. You bought those.
How far's the siren go?
Oh, here it is.
Victory to Carlton. The Blues home. 24 points, the eventual margin. Just 14 goals scored in the night. And just 1 apiece in that final quarter. So Carlton go to the top of the ladder. We go to the boundary line and Dipper.
Thanks very much, Danny. With Fraser Brown, I just heard you say what a beautiful win that was.
Oh, it's terrific to come up here. It's one of our aims during the year, Dipper, and just fantastic to win. We lost to Fremantle and we've come up here and really knuckled down, and that's our type of play. We like the wet.
Now, you came here yesterday?
Yeah, came yesterday. The boys, general consensus, came yesterday and spent the night here and prepared as if you were leaving from home, so it's a bit different to coming on the day and then you're rushed and you're not focusing it, and then it makes it a lot different.
And for the viewers at home now, the conditions are a little bit slippery, but the pressure of the game was spot on.
Oh, the Brisbane boys, you know, all credit to them. We like playing against them because I know the Lamberts and the Fletchers and those guys really had a red hot go, and they always do, and we love playing against them.
And how do you find the pressure after winning the premiership last year? I mean, you are the measuring stick every week?
Well, I suppose every other team that comes up against us is a big game for them, and they like to knock the top boys off. So yeah, we like it. We like being on top, and we're out in front now, so it's fantastic.
We'll go join the boys now, Fraser. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Dipper, and well done to Fraser Brown. As Anthony Koutafidis and the Carlton boys head into the rooms. It's a very determined outfit tonight, as he said, particularly after being beaten by Fremantle and making the journey here north to take on Brisbane, who were setting an early pace as far as the home and away series was concerned. But the Blue Baggers, you cannot count them down, Malcolm, can you?
No, they're a terrific unit, and you know,
They're a real chance, aren't they, for the finals this year? But, you know, it's a pressure game and they can rise to the occasion.
well, that's 9-2, and halfway mark. I think 11 games is usually a pretty good sign of where you're at in the footy season. And I think once you get to halfway, you've played some at the top, you've played some at the bottom, you've been away and you've been home. And for Carlton to have 9-2 is a fantastic effort, and same at this stage last year, by the way.
So just break while they go into their song. Great song this, Sandy.
Yes, pretty good song there, Donald, isn't it? But a great effort by Carlton. There's Ronnie DiIulio, Glenn Manton.
Fraser Brown was interesting. They were pumped up for that, weren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they really lost their crown a little bit in Fremantle by travelling.
Yep.
So they've all voted to come here the day before, treated as though they were going from home, and get right pumped up. I mean, that says a lot about Carlton, what's Fraser Brown said.
There's Andy McKay with Brett Ratton. Victorious here at the Gabba. The final scoreline, Carlton 9-8-62. Defeated Brisbane 5-8-38.